Hi, everyone, and welcome to Season 2 of Linking to the Afterlife. This season will continue with our soul existence readings and connecting with your loved ones in spirit. We will also be adding a few organic chats with friends and episodes explaining more about communicating with the afterlife. If you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, see the show notes. Thanks for listening.
This is cool. This is good. What I'm about to say. Will we ever be satisfied with the full day? Spirit saying no, but you will always be satisfied in every moment.
There you go.
So I think that's what I'm hearing from Spirit right now is, gosh, I do spend a lot of time in my day life going, what's going to happen today? Where am I going today? You understand that?
Yeah, I'm trying not to do that though. I'm trying to whatever happens, happens, and we deal with it as it comes.
And you catch yourself though, right? It's not like it disappears. It doesn't disappear. I catch myself all the time doing it. I don't believe anymore it's old tapes. I just think this is humanness.
Mm-hmm.
And humanness does this. Soulness does not do this. They're saying right now, look, you guys, soulness we know is that every moment thing.
Mm-hmm.
My new one is allow things to be just the way they are in each moment. As I say that, it'll go. But how many times have you heard that statement in 80 million other different ways? And you don't just learn it. Ooh, I like this. You practice that in every moment.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone whose physical body, emotional body, and spiritual body stays in the oneness every single moment.
Do you think it's even possible to do that here?
I think it's possible. I think this is what I'm hearing. Correct me if I didn't hear this correctly. You don't know, but I'm telling you what I'm hearing, right? It's possible to get into it every moment.
But is that the only thing you can do?
I'm struggling with thinking, believing, and knowing right now, which term I want to use. That's what I'm hearing right now. It's not that it's an impossibility. It's a possibility, but it's a recognition every single moment. And that takes work. Yes.
So ask for how to do that and live life. That's what I'm thinking.
The question that we have for spirit is it possible? And what I keep seeing in my head is moment, 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 like it's a jump, moment, moment, like we're moving from this moment to the next moment to the next moment. We aren't living a fluid string of moments. You see in my head, moment, it's just a bunch of lines, moment, moment. And in order to get to each line, there's a space in between.
Okay.
And the space in between is where we become human again. And then we go into the moment again, and there's soulness. Now that was a good explanation. I see it in my head. Can you see that and explain it?
Yeah, I can see it. Weirdly, I can see it. So really, you just keep doing the best you can do because you're in between. Every moment, there's a moment between a moment.
And there shouldn't be. That's what we're working on, not creating the moments in between the moments. That's where the humanness comes. So even when you just said, because I say that too, and people say it, but as I've been saying it lately, I'm like, that doesn't sound right anymore. We're doing the best we can do.
Yeah.
Think about what that means. Yes. We're doing.
Doing is the other problem.
There's doing. We're being all we are. We're doing our best in that moment, but our human brain is saying, you can do better. How's that for judging?
Yeah, exactly. Right?
I don't need better. I'm already the best. So we're not doing the best. We are the best in every moment. How's that? We're not doing our best. We are the best in every moment.
We are.
So I keep going back to the image of the line, the moment, that moment. And I'm in my head now with spirit. It's not crowded, don't worry about it. In those moments in between the moment, I'm having a tough time. It's bringing up tears right now for me. I'm starting to cry as I look into that space between those two moments. I'm crying. Something about in between is making me so emotional. I don't know why yet. But as I step into the in between, it's like my body just wants to stop. My body, my physical body, as I cry, I'm crying right now. As I cry, my body just says, oh my gosh, let go. Oh my gosh, stop holding on to this. Oh my gosh, you are the best. Oh my gosh, what part of you thinks you aren't allowing everything, and how expansive everything is, that it must be like, I feel like my body was hit by not a wave, but a ton of bricks when I went into that space, because it was something I did not look at in any other portion of my life here. There's something in that in between moments that is causing me, as I get closer to it, I'm going to start bawling right now. And I don't know why yet. And I know Trish is going to have some words for this, because she's viewing me now on the screen. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Keep going.
Thank you. In my head, I see all this. And in my head, there's Donna standing outside the center of those lines, right? Those moments, standing in between. And the in between is getting bigger, Trish.
Because you're pushing?
Because I'm wanting, I'm asking, I'm okay with, I'm safe to do this with you. And as I get closer to it, it's wider and wider. I'm getting chills up and down my body. And as I move toward it, I see it. It's a huge space. It's not a little space. So if you look at a moment and a moment, can you imagine the in between being more massive than the moment itself? I want to step into it, but I also view myself as Donna the human. Less, I'll call it fear or anxiety, less is there now. I feel I'm close to it. I don't feel I'm in it yet. I feel I'm still looking at it like there's nothing there.
Can you feel safe enough to step in?
I just started looking to my right and to my left, going, anybody else? Anybody else here? And Spirit's like, why would you need anyone else but you?
So would that be it? Or do you keep going?
I don't know yet.
I have chills.
This is playing out in real time.
Wow. Yep.
Do you think, well, I guess we know this, the emotions of what we were just speaking about is the human side.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm walking toward this thing, because I don't even know what to call it yet, I see myself in human form, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like we don't know this, though. This is what I'm coming back to in my head. I understand we all want to become soulness, not just humanness. Getting sick to my stomach right now. I'm getting closer. I want to do this.
That's totally up to you.
Why am I viewing the emotion of it so much more than anything else?
I've been working at letting go And I am still at a loss how to do that. Even though you'll work through the emotion, right? I will work through that emotion. I will feel through that emotion, and I will release that emotion. And I think I've let it go, but then subconsciously, I find out that I have not. And I'm like, is that even possible? So does it come down to the subconscious?
Does it come down to the subconscious, or does it come down to that humanness thinking that we have to be the best? And if you, like you just said, I'm continually letting go, if that's part of the process, why are we saying to ourselves, because I'm right there too, why are you there again, Donna? Didn't you let this go? And I'm wondering right now, I'm still standing in my head. I still stand in front of that chasm. It's a freaking chasm. It doesn't look like like if I step forward, I'm going to drop off the edge of the earth, like something like that. It's just this chasm of space in between the moments. Like I'm exhausted doing that emotional work. And I've been doing emotional work for 30 years.
Never ending.
I don't think it's ending.
No, I don't think it does. Like, that's one of my things is I don't want to come back to redo or do the same thing because I didn't figure it out this time.
That's a great statement. And what I've learned is that's not possible. You've gone further. All of us have gone further in this lifetime than we've gone in any other life.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't think just because we're still working on it doesn't mean we haven't had the awareness of it, felt the emotion of it. I just think that'll be a continual process. So I think you can throw that one away.
Okay.
Yeah, we're both just throw it away. Chuck it with stuff. Garbage goes out tomorrow. I'm putting it in the garbage.
I'm wondering if the verbiage of letting go, if we're using the wrong words.
Heard that before you even said it. Letting go. There's got to be a better word for that. It's not letting go.
It's not even release. It's more, I'll have to think on that one.
I already have it. You want it?
Yeah, I want it.
Allowing.
There you go.
That's what we've been talking about in almost every reading. It's not like it's not pushing it away, shoving it down. It's allowing it in.
Letting it go is opposite of allowing.
That's right.
Yeah, that's total opposite.
You're right. Oh my gosh, I never looked at it that way.
Allowing.
Do you feel that? I feel that.
I feel it. Yep.
So here's that statement again that I've written on my pad. Allow things to be just the way they are in each moment.
Mm-hmm.
And with that statement, you don't have to explain anything to yourself, to your soul, to anything, to anybody.
No.
But if you allow things to be just the way they are in each moment, then if you're doing something that goes against the grain or hurts someone else or whatever, anything, you're aware of it.
Mm-hmm. You're aware of your boundaries and you're aware of standing in your power and your sovereignty. Come to that form, to that conclusion as well, along with the allowing. Allowing doesn't just come out of the blue in the beginning of a journey. You have to have the knowledge of power, sovereignty, and be standing in that with your boundaries in order to have the allowing.
Again, I'll say I'm not sure about the word boundaries. I think that's old paradigm. And because boundaries tell me you're blaming other people. Well, boundaries tell me that person's making me feel this way. That person, I don't want them in because they make me feel that way. It's all about you.
Mm-hmm.
That person is allowing me to feel this way. That person is allowing me to question myself.
Right.
Not making me, allowing me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we work on ourselves in each moment.
So where's a better word for boundaries? Or what's a better word?
I think you open yourself up to a state of allowing. Because if you make a boundary of something, you're also building a wall around yourself. You're also building a wall that there's nothing else coming in. You're building this wall for no even allowing to come in. Because boundary has an image to it.
It does. It does have a wall image. The thing I love about talking to you is we think about the words, the verbiage, and we find, like when you figured out expansion, expanding, I was like, I glued onto that one quick because I was looking for something like that. But yeah, I love going through this with you because boundaries does feel like almost stagnant, even though you're trying to figure out the opposite. I was having a conversation with my daughter, and she's like, Mom, I want to have a relationship, a mother-daughter relationship with you, but I don't know what that looks like. And I'm like, honey, I don't know what that looks like either. I grew up with a narcissist from day one, and I'm just figuring that out. And so I don't know what that looks like either. It's like, well, let's set some boundaries for our relationship. And I was like, totally turned off, right? I'm like, I'm a good person. I am not looking to harm you. I am not looking to do something that I believe is out of the scope of your comfort zone or anything like that. So can we just be? And now I'm thinking, allow. Can we just be and allow each other to be who we are? And I am totally open to listen if I have done something that you're not comfortable with. So a different word for boundaries would be fantastic. Allowing works pretty good, actually.
That's a good story that led into an ending, a conclusion of what now you can go forward with.
Yeah.
So with allowing, because here's the difference, you're right. Even boundaries and allowing are opposites.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is the wall, allowing is this open space to me. Hello, the open space between the moments.
I feel that.
When we allow our feelings to come up because someone did something, someone said something, the world is at shit right now, we are able to say to ourselves, okay, this doesn't feel very good. This is making me feel, no, this is allowing me to feel something. Find the growth. So if the two of you, this is what I see, the two of you are having something going on, but you're saying, I allow you to feel that. I allow you to say that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they're done, you're like, okay, now here's what I allow myself to feel and say. And you just said that you're not a mean person. Nobody really is down in their heart. They're just working from their hurt. And we understand that now.
Yeah.
There's always more to our expansion in order to feel, sense, and know the oneness instead of just knowing it during our meditations or in our times of when we're not with anybody and it's so easy.
Yeah, you can alone. There's nothing to challenge you. That's not what we're here for. As much as I love being, I love my solitude. As much as I love that, like I'm trying to get to the point where I'm strong enough or feel comfortable enough with myself, maybe is a better way to put that, that I can be around people and allow them the same to be themselves and not take on anybody else's anything, whether that's a pipe dream or not, I'm not sure.
Well, how about if we change it? Because you yourself said trying isn't a word that we want to use anymore.
Yeah, I really don't.
Say, I am.
Yeah.
That I'm trying to get to a point. I am at that point, and that you're the best right where you are.
Yes.
You don't have to be better.
Yes.
You're the best right where you are. In fact, I just shared something on my blog from a channeled message from the rabbi one of my spirit guides, and it was about, why are you trying to do better or be better? And my response was, this was back in 2014, my response to this guide was, the Donna part of me said, because I always felt like I had to be a better mother, a better friend, a better wife, a better lover, a better everything, or else no one would want me.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to go back to this moment between the moments. I feel like I needed to be better before I accepted this.
So can you allow yourself now to go in there?
Now I feel, after this conversation, more that I am that. I am that space. I don't have to walk into it. I am that space.
So you were into it. You just have to be okay with there.
The knowing, when you're in the space in between the moments too, it's smoother. The transition between moments has to be smoother.
Flow.
It has to be more flow. But that space in between, Trish, was so upsetting to me. It was so emotional.
Is it still?
No, I feel it in my chest. I felt before this session, before we started, I felt there was something big coming. You went along with me. So when I'm talking to everybody listening now too, if you just went through this and listened to it, I'm going to ask you to go back at the beginning at some other point and image it when I was speaking it. And Trish, can you go through and say a little bit more about how me speaking it translated to you feeling it?
Mm-hmm. When you said you could feel the chills, right? I was actually just starting to feel that, just as you said that. So mine came a little later, but it got stronger and stronger as you kept talking about it. I don't know, like I still haven't pinpointed the chills. I don't know if you ever can, right? They show up when they show up. But I think it's really neat that we walked through that to the point where we could realize that you were already there. That's, to me, is amazing that like figuring that out, walking through that.
But this has happened before. We've had some conversations where we've done this universal shift.
Yeah.
You can see more now, and I'll ask everyone who's listening right now, and understand how you, one person, vibrationally changing, can change others. That you felt that vibration sitting here on this Zoom call. You felt my walking through this. You felt it. I bet you if you weren't even listening to my words, you would have felt what I was going through. And that's how we vibrationally change the world.
That saying that always drove me crazy, one person making the change makes the difference, or makes a difference. And then if you can get, what am I supposed to be doing? Every time I asked, I got go inward, work on you, work on you. And so over the last 3 years, as I have expanded, I have realized, because your love vibration goes out how far, right? And if you can change the vibration of how many people in the room with love vibration. We have to work on ourselves. We don't have to, but it's better if you do. I mean, you can sit in the misery of, oh, it's all going to hell, or you can sit in the misery of feeling through. But on the other side of, after feeling through, you at least have some satisfaction of, I've put some effort into me, versus just sitting over here in fear
and blame that it's someone else's fault.
Exactly.
And there's nothing I can do. We know now there is, because of, we've proven what group meditation can do. We've proven that. And the more you vibrate that love, meaning I'm going to love everything.
Precisely.
Find the growth in every situation. Those are my 2 favorite phrases this past 3 or 4 weeks. Find the growth in every situation.
I love that.
Wow, big breaths here, Trish.
Right? Wow. This has been awesome. I love talking to you.
Same here. So if we can change vibrationally, we can vibrationally change the world.
Yes. Agreed.
That's what we've heard. that we're coming back to soulness. This is the first time I put a word on it, right? Where we are understanding through the eyes of our soul.
Yeah.
And not the human that we are here. Remember that story I tell? I told it way before I became a medium, at least 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago, when I had my yoga studio.
Mm-hmm.
I was teaching a meditation at the end of a yoga class, and we were all sitting on our cushions. And I told them, my class, close your eyes. And I closed my eyes with them. And in that moment, my first out of body experience, I was shot up. Remember that story?
Yeah.
Shot up into the universe. Everything was dark. And I was just sitting there on a cloud, watching the stars go by. As the soul that I truly was. There was only love. I felt no fear. I felt no problems until my mind,
Yeah.
my humanness came and said, how are you going to get back to your yoga mat? And in that moment, I was planted back down onto my mat. I opened my eyes with a start and went, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. How long was I gone? It wasn't my fault. I was taken there in a
Yes.
heartbeat.
Yeah.
And they're looking at me with the weirdest look going, we don't know what you're talking about. You just said, close your eyes.
Yeah.
And now you're saying this. I was up in that place for years. In my human brain, I was up in that place. Years had passed.
That's fair. There's no time.
Split second. And that showed me, and that carried me through the years. And then I started seeing spirit, and then I started being. Now I'm in that space all the time. If there's no time, if it's all dimensions around us, not above us, not way out there, not heaven, but all around us, more easily accessible when you view it that way. I'm loving this. I'm loving every part of this.
Yep.
For the audience, anything else for our listeners, anything you want to conclude from this?
It's always amazing with you. I love our time together.
It's soul to soul.
Absolutely.
Let's end this moment just with the love and the laughter that all of us can bring to every moment. First within ourselves, and then whoever else is around that wants to do that with us also.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be the best enough that I am. I am the best.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We all are. Trish, I thank you so very much for allowing.
Absolutely. It's well worth sharing. It was fun.